Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kaz. In this episode, we are going to be checking out what is inside this plastic bag. Let's see. Several years ago, I was watching a local TV station up here, TV8. I don't like to get too negative on my channel because it's supposed to be kind of an escape. But TV8 in the Glens Falls area is pretty much the channel that nobody watches. It was fun up until they got a new owner about 15 years ago or so, 10, 15 years ago. And it's more about 15 years ago. He took it over from a guy whose name was Michael. I forget what the guy's last name was. But the previous owner, I guess, wanted out. It's really small, independent. You could even say public access in a way, but public access really involves more of the public. This is more private, but they really didn't have that great of a lineup of shows. One of the nice things that they had before the new owner took over TV8, and pretty much stunk it up. He tried to make it more professional, tried to have a real news half hour, but that really didn't really help it at all. You can't really help something that is what it is, and it's just a small station that doesn't have a powerful signal, so it doesn't really go much more than maybe 5 miles, I would say. I'd be flattering it if it said the signal went 10 miles, 10-mile radius, but it's pretty much a 5-mile radius around the Glens Falls area. One of the shows that they had on there, which was really neat and fun to watch, was an auction show. And so for $70 one night, I bought some stock, some antique paper stock. And what I really got out of it, which was fun, were these railroad company stocks. So I'll be showing these off. So with this auction show, they had different auctioneers from the area come in, and they sold just different things. Now they just have one guy from some antique and collectibles across the street from the local Walmart on here, and all he does is sell coins. It's really boring. I've heard that he's pretty disreputable from what I've seen. His reviews on Facebook. When they had several different auctioneers with several different subjects and types of things that they sell, it was really fun. They had different personalities. This one guy sold fossils. That was really fun to watch. He was a character. He had really wild hair, and he would say anything that was big. He'd say, "Oh, this is a honking." He would say honking. This is a big honking dinosaur egg, or this is a big honking fossil, whatever it was. But this time, I got you would call in. You would call in on your phone, and you would place bids for these, whatever they were auctioning off. So this first, what I got are these different stocks, and this first one is from the Pennsylvania Railroad Company. It was 100 shares. I'm assuming that because this it's punched out here, that it's been canceled by somebody named Sherburne J. Smith back on November 6, 1964, bought 100 shares of stock. So here's a nice rendition, nice artwork here, some Pennsylvania Railroad trains going around a curve here. Yeah, it looks like you have Mercury here, and you have some nudie guy here with his bun sticking out. Spinning a wheel here. Looks like the Wheel of Progress, maybe. Incorporated under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, April 13th, 1846. So here's this one. Signed. Looks like Sherburne Smith here. Signed it in 1964. Through Townsend, Dabney, and Tyson, members, New York Stock Exchange. That's pretty nice. This one is for the New York Central Railroad Company, 100 shares. This was bought in October 3rd, on Halloween, 1960. This one also has holes in it, so I'm assuming that this was canceled. But here's that. Pan American Sulphur Company. Yeah, what's on the back of this? Nothing too special, just some legalese writing there. Okay, the Pan American Sulphur Company. Well, that stinks. Have some Greek gods there with 100 shares. Member number. So some company named CD or CEDE and Company bought 100 shares of this Pan American Sulfur Company. Looks like their address was Bowling Green Station in New York. May 25th, 1970. What's that? Studebaker. I think there's a few of these Studebaker. Studebaker Worthington Inc. Common stock, 100 shares. This looks like Samantha from Bewitched. The picture of the globe there. And there's that. Oh, Mrs. Gladys. Whoever Mrs. Gladys was bought 100 shares of this. And yep, this is canceled, not issued. When did she buy this? She bought. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it says canceled, because she didn't actually buy it for some reason. But there's Mrs. Gladys's 100 shares that she never bought. There's another Studebaker Worthington Inc. 100 shares that nobody's name is on there, but it still says canceled. It's punched out too. It says, I guess it's canceled. This one is another Studebaker Corporation, less than 100 shares. This one has a man here, looks like he's on the floor, the designers of the Studebaker car, and some millers doing some mill work there for the car, and he's looking at a piston, it looks like, some calipers. Shares, 4 shares. Looks like this is 4 shares that Monty G. Sands bought on June 23rd, 1965. Studebaker corporate seal. Studebaker Corporation. Looks like Monty signed right there. And is this a date? It's like it's punched out here. It's a date. 2/23/66. Is that when he may have cashed them in? When did he actually buy it? He bought it January 24th, 1966. So, January 12th, 1966. I'm not sure if applicable. I don't know. I don't know what it means on the back, but here's another one for 3 shares for Hirsch and Company, less than 100 shares, so they only got 3 shares, back on December 2nd, 1965. That's what the back of this one looks like. I like the artwork on these. These are very nice. I mean, it's back during a time when they actually gave out paper shares. Even though this was only 2 shares. NV Ed. Looks like something from Amsterdam. Some company over in Amsterdam bought this. See, it's all German there. This was bought in 1965, July 15th. And this one's really neat. I like Howard Johnson's. They were nice places to eat. We have one up here, but that one has some sketchiness to it. I don't want to go to that one again, as long as the owner that owns it owns it. He did some really bad things. But anyway, this is the Howard Johnson Company. Antonio Mancini bought 100 shares back on March 22nd, 1974. And looks like Howard B. Johnson was still president back then. I guess that's what it says there. There's the back of that one. And this last one is the Erie Railroad Company, incorporated under the laws of the state of New York. Walter Prescott Hubbard. He bought this back on April 23rd, 1945. Oh, this is pretty old. So, there's Mercury there. Again, some other sort of looks like Greek god there. 100 shares. No indication here that there's it's a train company, but other than it's saying railroad, so it's kind of disappointing. But anyway, there's the back of that one. Hornblower and Weeks, 40 Wall Street, New York. So that's pretty much it. That's it for this episode of the Kaz. Thanks for coming and looking at all these shares of stock here. Pretty neat, isn't it? Just all these different shares and their artwork on it. So thanks for coming. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.